Let's now talk about Storm Darragh. Around 3 million people in parts of Wales and southwest England have been sent an emergency alert from the government as Storm Darragh approaches the UK. Now, this is the largest use of the warning system ever. It was sent to the mobile phones of people in areas covered by the Met Office red weather warning for the storm. The way this works is it sends out a loud siren-like sound to the device. Even if the device is on silent, it lasts for about 10 seconds. I was used to these in the United States. They use them a great deal for things like earthquakes, for example, if you're on the west coast of America. The question is how much damage is going to be caused by this, particularly in Wales, in the west, in Cornwall. Joining us now is Liz Perkins, South Wales journalist. Good morning to you.
Morning, how are you?
Yeah, good, thanks very much indeed. What's the latest from where you are?
Well, I've got to say, it's been a very blustery night, as you can imagine. It's just been so noisy. It's been quite difficult to sleep. And obviously, again, this morning, the wind is just howling here. It's obviously been quite dark this morning, so you haven't been able to see the scale of the damage as yet, but it's starting to get a bit lighter now. So hopefully we'll be able to find out a bit more as to exactly the impact of this storm. I mean, you can imagine that everybody living in the Llanelli area and in other parts of Wales as well have been advised to stay at home because the speeds of this wind, it's just been so high. And obviously, you know, North Wales has seen it hit 92 miles per hour in Capel Curragh. So it's really quite scary times here.
Well, I can now tell you 33,000 homes are now without power, extreme winds and rain sweeping across Wales. Just in terms of that, did you get the alert that I mentioned on your phone?
Yeah, I did, yeah. But the thing is, I mean, obviously I'm living right in the middle of the red zone. So it's just, you know, obviously that's covering the west of Wales. And, you know, it's very much needed to have these kind of alerts because obviously this situation is incredibly serious. And people do need to respond and they do need to stay at home and stay safe. I mean, I've never known a time where you've had the local authority emailing you individually to say, look, you know, you can't go out, you shouldn't be going out tomorrow. We're going to close down all the leisure centres, the museums, the libraries, their own Christmas shops. I mean, we've had Christmas parades cancelled in the town as well, which everybody had been looking forward to. But, you know, this is too serious to have anything going on. I mean, we are being told not to leave our homes, essentially, and have been issued with a guide of what kind of emergency support is out there. So it's quite a concerning time, as you can imagine.
And what's the community response been to this? Have people been well behaved? Have they stayed at home and done what they were told?
It appears to be the case at the moment, but I mean, you can imagine that whenever you see these scenes of storms, there's always somebody somewhere who sort of ignores these rules, don't they? And they sort of do not take on board the advice. And I'm sure at some point during the course of today, there will be some footage indicating that. But I hope that people use their common sense. I mean, Wales has been absolutely battered by Storm Bert recently. And obviously we saw the scenes of flooding in Pontypridd and you know, we've really suffered as a consequence of that. And now we've got Storm Darragh. So it's just, well, it's just challenging times. I mean, obviously in the countdown to Christmas as well, it's not anything that anybody would want, but we just have to deal with it and take on board the advice.
And just in terms of that, how much rain do you think you got? Was it torrential rain? Was there impact from that as it crossed in the early hours of this morning?
I mean, it's difficult to say, really, because, like I say, I mean, it's just so, you know, obviously the light is only only coming now. So, I mean, I'll be able to sort of gauge more on that, you know, later on and the impact of the weather. I mean, I'm in some ways, I'm kind of lucky because I live on the top of a hill. But on the other hand, I'm not so lucky because I live on top of the hill, especially in conditions like this. I mean, last time when we had the storm, I had paint blowing off my home, which is minor in comparison to the flooding and the sinkholes that we've seen across Wales. So it's a case of, you know, seeing where we are in the next couple of hours and how much impact this rain has had, and also, you know, the scale of this storm. And I know a lot of people were out there yesterday trying to pick up everything that potentially could have been blown away, and everybody's taken so much precautions. I mean, you know, obviously we don't have any football fixtures. We've got nothing going on this weekend. We've got both the 7 bridges closed, so clearly, you can't really get into Wales along that M4 corridor now. It's just too much of a challenge, and it's not advisable to do so because obviously, a majority of Wales is very coastal. So it's to be avoided right now, and it's a case of wait and see where this storm sort of ends up. I mean, obviously suggestions are that it will go eastwards, and the warning remains in place until 11 a.m. So clearly it's just hoping for the best, and fingers crossed that things do improve here.
Yeah, fingers crossed indeed. Liz, thanks for your time. Liz Perkins there, South Wales journalist.